Huh?
What's just me getting awkward?
Don't get awkward.
I was like, how do you get up on stage in a bikini?
Yeah.
When you're this self-conscious.
It's but
I feel like once you put the tan on the bikini, it's like
yeah.
I feel very exposed.
I've seen you literally in less than that, and you should feel more exposed.
But also, this is you talking about something that's really personal for you, which is you don't feel physically exposed. You feel like
you're exposing your vulnerability.
Exactly, 100%. It's a different kind of vibe. So
yeah.
Nope, you're good. Ready when you are.
So, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Sian and I'm a bikini athlete. So over on Instagram, I've had a lot of questions about my competing experience, from kind of the girls that are in my circle, what it's like to compete for the first time, how I got into competing. So I'm 20 weeks out from my second prep. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to start this channel, mainly to document my prep, but also to kind of discuss those questions in more detail. You know, a few seconds on an Instagram story is not enough time to really go into detail about my life and answering those questions like how I'd like to and with the depth that I would like to. So just a bit about me to start with. I competed for the first time last year. My first show was Two Bros, where I competed in bikini. 3 weeks later I competed at PCA Hampshire, where I came second and I qualified for the British finals. I then had 15 weeks more prep and I went to the British finals and I came third. So that was last year's experience for me. It went better than I ever thought, it would. I think it's fair to say that everyone says, oh, I'm just going to go for the experience, but everyone wants to win. I am competitive and I couldn't do the sport. I couldn't prep for 10 months last year if I wasn't competitive. So placing for me was massive, but again, didn't expect it, especially at the British. Standard was very high. So yeah, came away with third. A tough few weeks, that last prep. Went to a point where I was like, I'm not doing this again. But getting on that stage, I'm ready to take it on again. So 20 weeks out at the moment. But yeah, today I'm just going to cover one question that I had, because it's a very big one and it seems like the most sensible question to start with. So the question was, how did I get into competing? So I get asked this a lot. Bodybuilding isn't your run-of-the-mill sport. It's not something you do at school. So it is something that I get asked, at family parties, in the gym, you name it. It's like, oh, how did you get into that then? So for me, it all began, if I look back, to 13-year-old me. I lost my dad when I was 13 and it was sudden, and I ended up putting on a lot of weight. People want to take care of you, look after you, but it's fair to say people are feeders. They feed you with love, and they show that they're there for you by feeding you. So already feeling, in that stage of having puppy fat, growing into my woman shape, I put on quite a bit of weight. And I found this really difficult. So I started running at school just to feel better about myself, take a bit of control of how I was feeling. So I used to run every day. I hate running now, which is a fun fact. But I'm glad that is where, I started and where it's got me to now. But the running kind of got out of hand. I was, running every single day, tracking calories. It then obviously sort of led over into my eating. I wasn't educated on what I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating. So it was eat as little as possible. It was basically my experience as a young person, which looking back is obviously very sad. And I like to be open and honest about it because I know, as I've gone into adulthood, a lot of girls have had similar experiences, and more so now guys as well. So I like to be honest about where competing has come from for me and where that journey started. So yeah, I started running, but as I kind of grew out of that, started going to the gym, very much a cardio bunny until I found body pump. So for those of you that don't know, body pump is class, but it's a weighted class. So it's quite an intense workout. It's very high repetitions with lighter weights, but it was where I first felt strong, and I still have like a massive love for it now. I don't really do it that much anymore, but it's something that I would recommend to anyone. You know, it's very empowering, it's nice to be around people, yeah, and it was really good fun. I then joined Ripped gym in Essex, and you know, it is the bodybuilding gym. I love it there, and you're around people that are pushing themselves to be better all the time. And I think that's where I first got to know bodybuilding, what it was, what it entailed, and I then became interested in it. So I was at uni and I kind of thought about getting a coach, but something was stopping me. I thought, oh, do I really want to give up, you know, my social time? Can I commit to a meal plan, to the training? So I put it off for a little while, until I won a photo shoot with Ben Mark. So Ben is a photographer. I think he's Essex and London based, but yeah, I won a competition with him, and I wanted to look the best and feel the best when I did that shoot. So I had a coach and I did that, and it showed me that I could, you know, follow a meal plan, train, and commit to something. And it was like such an empowering experience that I just wanted to continue that journey and do a competition. So I prepped. I did a very short off season, which I wouldn't advise to anyone. I only did a 3-month off season before doing a prep. I then prepped, I think it was for about 10-12 weeks, and then my show got cancelled 2 weeks out in 2020 because of COVID, obviously. But yeah, it was a big learning experience, and I then sort of started an off season with a new coach in my garage, so that came with all, you know, fun and games itself. I then started my prep in lockdown as well, and was just like, sod it, like, we'll just try, we'll see what happens. And that's when I first competed in 2021 in the June, and I haven't looked back since. Like, competing has brought me so many good friends. My time on stage is the best time of my life, and it's just been a real eye-opener for me, and it's something that obviously I'm continuing this year. I'm competing in September again at PCA. PCA was really where my love was last year, so moving forward that's going to be where I focus the most of my energy. They seem to like my physique more than other federations, and it's such a fun and friendly show. So really looking forward to taking you guys on this journey with me, introducing you to my prep series, the highs and lows, being as honest as I can, because there's not many kind of YouTube videos, Instagrams that show the real highs and lows of prepping. And I just want to sort of bring across that you can love a sport, but you can also find it so hard, because that's definitely my experience. I don't find prepping easy. I struggle a lot throughout that prep, but it's the overcoming that and the accomplishments that come with it that make bodybuilding what it is for me. So that's really something that I want to put across on this series. So I'm gonna end there, but my new video will be out in a couple of weeks. Be talking to you more about prep and some other questions that I've been asked on Instagram, and I look forward to speaking to you guys soon.